Hello and welcome to the Harvey Awards 2020, or as I like to call them, the Quarantine Edition, which, come to think of it, sounds like something straight out of the pages of Mad Magazine, the creation for which our namesake, Harvey Kurtzman, is best known for. I've had the great joy of hosting the Harvey Awards twice before, and I can tell you doing it this way does feel just a little bit mad. I miss looking out into the crowd and seeing the faces of a number of creators who've become friends over the years and getting to feel like I'm reuniting with my buddies to celebrate this industry. I miss looking out into the audience and seeing the faces of creators that I haven't met yet, whose work I've admired and been inspired by, and getting to think, I'm going to get to meet them tonight. Might get to give them an award tonight. More than anything, I remain a fanboy first, and I miss that part of the electricity of a live event. But you know what I don't miss? I don't need to miss great art, because the great art has persevered. 2020 has seen great comics work been released all over the world, work that has entertained and inspired us at a time when the world needs entertainment and inspiration more than anything. So I think it is critical that the Harvey Awards perseveres and that we continue to do what we do, yes, in this very mad fashion that I suspect Harvey Kurtzman would have been very proud of. This is an awards show to recognize creators, by creators, and for creators. And it's apt that it's named after Harvey Kurtzman, who was the ultimate creator. I like to think of Harvey in some ways as the creator's creator. Sure, he's best known for creating Mad, and he's best known for his work in the humor space. But Harvey was so much more than that. He created in every genre possibly imaginable. He worked in war, science fiction, horror, adventure, crime, educational. He wasn't just an artist and a writer. He was a great editor, publisher, entrepreneur, husband, father, and mentor. And he was deeply concerned with elevating comics to be known as the art form that it rightly is. And he was deeply concerned with recognizing the importance that comics could have as an art on creators and on the world around them. My favorite Harvey Kurtzman story comes from a convention in 1982 when a fan asked him about the writing of his stories in Mad Magazine. The fan said, "When you were writing those stories, Mr. Kurtzman, what were you on?" Everyone laughed and the laughter died down. And then Harvey did something sort of surprising. He didn't make a joke. He answered the question seriously. And this is what he said. He said, "I was on the joy of life. When I do good work, it's a high in itself. When you do a good piece of work and you can stand back and it looks good, it makes you laugh and sing and dance. It's its own reward. You don't try to get high to do the thing. You do the thing and it makes you high." So I am proud to be hosting the Harvey Awards tonight in the name of Harvey Kurtzman and to honor the work that this year made us laugh and dance and sing, even if we were in quarantine. And yeah, that work that maybe helped us get a little bit high too. And before we move on, I also want to thank our sponsors, Creative 1021 and Harper Alley. We literally wouldn't be here without you, and it is so important that we are here tonight. So without further ado, let's get to the awards. So let's get going with the first award of the evening. This is Digital Book of the Year. And the nominees are Afterlift by Chip Zdarsky and Jason Liu, The Eyes by Javi De Castro, Fried Rice by Erica Eng, Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red, edited by Chris Conroy, Maggie Howell, Andy Curry, and Amadeo Tuturo. The Nib, edited by Matt Bors. And the winner is The Nib. Here to accept on behalf of The Nib is Matt Bors. Take it away, Matt.
Greetings from a lakeside cottage in Canada where I'm quarantining with my family after moving here 2 or 3 days ago. You can probably hear the waves crashing up. So things could be worse for me right now. I guess they could be better. The pandemic kind of upended my life and I had to move to Canada. So anyway, thanks so much for this award. This is a real honor. I never thought I'd win a Harvey Award. It's not just for me though; it's for the whole NIB team. It helps me run the site, get new comics on it every day, and so that is Larry Harris and Matt Lipchansky, along with Delta Vasquez, Andy Warner, Sarah Merck, and Whit Taylor. Also, want to shout out all of the other nominees who had really tremendous work. I was going through a lot of it. I had some that I hadn't even seen before, and it's all really great. So if you haven't seen it all, I would encourage you to check it out. Despite the scenic view here at the lake, I can show you. See, very nice. But despite that, it kind of sucks to accept an award staring at a computer screen and just talking to a video of myself staring back at me. I'd rather be in a room with all of my friends and colleagues. This year's kind of been hard. We don't have conventions and awards, which are where we, all of us solitary cartoonists and editors actually get together and recharge. So I'm hoping you're doing all right, everybody who's watching this. Hard year for all of us. I'm hoping that in 2021 we can get back to seeing each other in person and not through Zoom screens. So thanks again for the award, and see you later.
Okay, it is my great joy and honor to begin the first induction into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame of the evening. Osamu Tezuka has been called the godfather of manga and anime. I've even heard him called the god of manga and anime. And quite frankly, both are understatements. The inspiration that this man has provided to comics creators of generations, multiple generations all over the world is incalculable. For me, he's taught me what it's like to be a fan and to follow works fervently. He taught me that little boys could be both powerful and peaceful, could be heroic and emotional through Astro Boy. He taught me the nature of spirituality and where it comes from and what religion can do to and for a person in his epic work, Buddha, chronicling the life of the Buddha, and so many amazing works in between. It is a great pleasure of mine to be able to celebrate the life of Osamu Tezuka tonight and his creations. Here to share a few words on behalf of the Tezuka estate is a representative from Kodansha Comics, his longtime publisher of his extensive catalog.
Hello, my name is Tomo Tran from Vertical, an imprint of Kodansha USA Publishing, LLC. As a representative of the publisher, who has released many of Osamu Tezuka's work, such as Blackjack, Buddha, Dororo, and more, it is my honor to be able to read the acceptance speech for Osamu Tezuka's induction into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame. This message was written by Makoto Tezuka, the son of the late Osamu Tezuka, and representative director of the Osamu Tezuka Cultural Foundation. Message. It is a great honor that this year, Osamu Tezuka is being inducted into the esteemed and internationally renowned Harvey Awards Hall of Fame. I would like to thank everyone behind the decision with all my heart and on behalf of our family. Normally, I would visit the venue to convey my gratitude in person, but given the worldwide pandemic, I'm unable even to exit Japan and so must rely on this format instead. Additionally, the inductee himself, who passed away more than 30 years ago, also cannot attend to receive this honor, but please kindly excuse him. I am positive, however, that he is grinning in heaven. That is because American comics, which had a major impact on him as a child and also inspired him to create his own. US comic culture was like a parent that reared Osamu Tezuka. The prevalence of Anglophone titles and alphabet lettering in his early works proves it. At the time, using English language in manga for kids was revolutionary. As you know, manga and anime developed in a unique fashion in Japan, precisely because Osamu Tezuka graced the scene. His manga had roots in an older domestic tradition, but succeeded thanks to his innovative stories and artistry. Moreover, he created the first domestic TV anime, Astro Boy, through his own studio. It was a baby step, but soon our country's animation began to etch its own history. That's why many Japanese people call him the god of manga and the father of anime. As noted at the outset, American cartoons and comics like Disney, Popeye, had a profound impact on the young Osamu Tezuka, but by now, creators in Hollywood and the world over have been equally inspired by his manga and anime. Astro Boy made its US network debut in 1963. Children back then must have watched it unaware of its provenance. The 1966 Hollywood film Fantastic Voyage drew story hints from the series. Another contemporary viewer, director Stanley Kubrick, even invited Osamu Tezuka to join the staff of a certain new film. How unfortunate that the collaboration never happened, because the project turned out to be 2001: A Space Odyssey. Kubrick also went on to develop a movie called AI that featured a boy robot as its protagonist. And personally, I feel as though The Lion King might have been inspired by Osamu Tezuka's Jungle Emperor. But what do you think? When he was still with us, Osamu Tezuka liked to say that comics are the world's lingua franca. In other words, it's a medium that can transcend national, ethnic, and linguistic barriers to land with audience globally and entertain them. At the moment, kids all over the world are relishing several Japanese manga, and I take this induction too as a major proof that our comics culture is being recognized. I believe that diverse cultures finding purchase across the world via the output of creative geniuses is ideal. And to my understanding, the Harvey Awards prizes those cultures in just such a manner. I thank you once again for extending this honor to Osamu Tezuka. May your own American comics culture never cease to be a mighty and good influence on the world. Makoto Tezuka, Representative Director, Osamu Tezuka Cultural Foundation. Again, I would like to thank Harvey Awards and their representatives on behalf of Vertical and Osamu Tezuka. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Best Children or Young Adult Book. And the nominees are Almost American Girl, an illustrated memoir by Robin Ha, HarperCollins, Blazer and Bray. Dragon Hoops by Jean Luen Yang, First Second. Guts by Raina Telgemeier, Scholastic Graphics. Stargazing by Jen Wang, First Second. Superman Smashes the Klan by Jean Luen Yang and Gurihiru, DC Comics. And the winner is Superman Smashes the Klan. Here to accept on behalf of the creative team is my dear friend, Jean Luen Yang. Congratulations, Jean, and take it away.
We are so thrilled to be receiving this award. There are lots of people to thank. I want to start by thanking Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster for creating Superman, and everyone involved in that 1940s Superman radio show for your courage. Thanks to Marie Javins and Bob Harris for saying yes to this project. Thank you to Marie and Diego Lopez for editing it, Paul Kavinsky for his invaluable notes, Janice Chang for her beautiful letters. Thanks to Michelle Wells, Sarah Ruiz, Hannah, and everyone on the DC Young Readers team. You all supported this book from the very beginning. Finally, and especially, I want to thank Chifuyu Sasaki and Naoko Kawano, who are together known as Gurihiru. Thank you for saying yes to working with me. You all are amazing, amazing artists, among the best working in the world today. I'm so lucky to have gotten to partner with you. I also have a note from Gurihiru themselves that I'd like to read to you all. They say, "We would like to say thank you to the Harvey Awards Committee and everyone who enjoyed and voted for this book. Superman is such a representative hero from DC Comics, and depicting him was a challenge for us. Since he is an icon to the American culture, we felt some pressure as Japanese artists to draw him with justice. But this award gives us a lot of courage. Knowing that many people are reading this book makes us very happy. When we got the offer to draw Gurihiru's version of Superman, we were very surprised and really happy. Many thanks to Gene for choosing us as his partner to work on this book. It was a really easy choice. Finally, we would like to thank everyone on the editorial team at DC, translator Mr. Yanagi, and everyone who supported us on this journey. Gurihiru." Thanks again, everyone. Thank you so much.
Next up is Best Manga. And the nominees are H.P. Lovecraft's At Mountains of Madness by Go Tanabe, Dark Horse Manga. The Man Without Talent by Yoshiharu Tsuge, New York Review Comics. The Poe Clan by Moto Hagio, Fantagraphics. The Way of the House Husband by Kosuke Uno, Viz Media. Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirihama, Kodansha Comics. And the winner is Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirihama from Kodansha Comics. And here to accept on behalf of Kamome Shirihama is a representative of Kodansha Comics.
Hello, my name is Ivan Salazar, Senior Marketing Director at Kodansha Comics. It is my honor to read the acceptance speech for the 2020 Harvey Awards winner for Best Manga, Witch Hat Atelier. The following message and acceptance comes directly from the series creator, Kamome Shirihama-sensei. I was very surprised that Witch Hat Atelier has been nominated to the Harvey Awards 2 years in a row. And I was even more surprised when I heard that this year it had actually won the award. I believe that I owe it to everyone who reads the series and also to the staff who supports the production of it. I would like to thank them all from the bottom of my heart. To me, magic isn't only given to those that are special, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's something which all of us are born with, the innate ability to affect change. I started creating this story because I wanted everyone to know that anyone could be a magician that changes the world. When Coco and her friends face adversity, they overcome it with creativity, cooperation, and innovative ideas that make the impossible possible. This is not much different from what we do in our own world. For the world to be a place where everyone can live happily, there are so many things that need to change, that we should work to change. With this story, I hope it helps people realize that they also have the magical power to change the world within themselves. If there were more real witches in this world, I believe that it would make our future a better place. The story of Witch Hat Atelier will continue, and I hope you will continue to enjoy it. Thank you. And from all of us at Kodansha Comics, thank you to the Harvey Awards Committee, to the industry voters, and the fans for their continued support.
Okay, the next category of the evening is Best International Book. And I'm particularly excited about giving out this award because it's the first time the Harveys has had this award. The Harvey Committee made the very smart decision to update the previous category of Best European Book to reflect the fact that there is brilliant work going on in our industry from every corner of the globe. And this year's nominees certainly reflect that fact. But before I read them out, I'm going to just say that this is another moment where I wish it was a live event and I had the opportunity beforehand to go up and meet all the nominees, partially because I'm a fanboy and I'd love to meet them, but also because I'd love to ask them how to say their names correctly. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names, but I'm going to do my best. So the nominees for Best International Book are Grass by Keum Suk Gendry Kim, Drawn and Quarterly. The House by Paco Roca, Fantagraphics. Portrait of a Drunk by Olivier Schrauen, Florent Rupert, and Jérôme Mouillot, Fantagraphics. Stay by Louis Trondheim and Hubert Chauvillard, Magnetic Press. Year of the Rabbit by Tian Viazna, Drawn and Quarterly. And the winner is Grass by Keum-suk Gendry Kim, Drawn and Quarterly. And here to accept the award is Keum-suk Gendry Kim and her translator, Janet Hong. Congratulations.
제 책 그라스가 Harvey Award for Best International Book을 수상하게 되어 영광입니다.
I am so honored that my book Grass has won the Harvey Award for Best International Book.
늦게 만화를 시작했지만 어렸을 때부터 그리기와 쓰기를 좋아했습니다. 만화는 제가 세상에 대해 어떻게 느끼고 생각하는지를 표현하는 최고의 예술 매체입니다.
Though I started doing comics late, I've loved to draw and write ever since I was a child. For me, comics is the perfect medium to express how I feel and think about the world.
그라스는 억압받는 여성들의 목소리를 대변합니다. 또한 인간이 트라우마를 가지고 어떻게 살아가는가에 대한 이야기이기도 합니다. 하비상은 이 책이 더 많은 사람들에게 다가가고 세계 모든 곳에서 억압받는 여성들의 목소리를 들을 수 있도록 도울 것입니다.
Grass represents the voice of the oppressed. It is also an examination of how humans deal with trauma. The Harvey Award will help this book reach more people and allow the voices of oppressed women everywhere to be heard.
숨기고 싶은 내면의 고통을 타인에게 드러내는 것은 어려운 일이며 많은 용기가 필요합니다. 이옥선 할머니와 성노예로 살아야 했던 다른 여성들은 자신이 겪은 끔찍한 일을 공개했을 때 많은 위험을 감수했습니다. 그들 중 많은 사람들이 혼자가 되었고 친척들에게도 외면당했습니다. 그러나 그들은 그러한 비극이 다시는 일어나지 않도록 진실의 길을 택했습니다. 그들의 용기에 경의를 표합니다. 그들의 삶의 의지가 우리가 인류를 믿는 데 도움이 되기를 바랍니다.
It is difficult to disclose deeply personal suffering, and one requires much courage to come forward. Granny Yeok-sun and the other sex slaves took many risks when they revealed what they had endured. Many of them ended up alone, rejected even by their families. And yet, they chose the path of truth to make sure that such atrocities never happen again. I want to salute their courage. May their will to live help us to have faith in humanity.
저희 에이전트인 니콜라 그리벌, 드로인 앤 쿼털리 전체 팀과 제 책의 번역가인 자넷 홍에게 감사드립니다. 하비상 수상은 큰 영광에 감사드립니다.
I would like to thank my agent Nicolas Gravel, the whole team at Drawn and Quarterly, and my translator Janet Hong. Thank you for this great honor.
It is my great pleasure to move on to our second inductee of the evening into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame. Jill Thompson truly needs no introduction. She's been creating brilliant work that has inspired fans and creators like me for decades. Masterpiece work on The Sandman and her own creation, Scary Godmother and Beasts of Burden. As I said, she truly needs no introduction, so it's perhaps fitting that she's going to be introduced by someone who also needs no introduction. Neil Gaiman is the creator of The Sandman, American Gods, Coraline, Stardust, and so many other brilliant works, and has been a friend and mentor to me over the years at some key moments in my career where I really needed him. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Neil Gaiman introducing Jill Thompson. How lucky am I to have this gig? Neil, take it away.
Hello, I'm Neil Gaiman. Almost 30 years ago, I was at a San Diego Comic Con, and a young lady in my signing line had a badge that said that she was Jill Thompson. And I told her what a fan of hers I was, and specifically mentioned that earlier that day in another signing line, I had seen a drawing she had done of Death, the character in Sandman, naked, which the mention of which caused Jill to go a very interesting sort of beetroot color. And she started to apologize and explain that a fan particularly liked those drawings. And I said, no, I thought it was wonderful. Would you like to draw Sandman? And I think she thought I was joking. But then I got to do a short story for Sandman and the whole of Brief Lives, because I knew that she was a tremendous talent, and she did us proud and made magic. She's gone on to go from strength to strength. The stuff of her own, things like Scary Godmother, is glorious, magical, and always pure Jill. For more than 30 years, she's been making comics that put many of the rest of us to shame. And it is my enormous pleasure to get to induct Jill Thompson into the 2020 Harvey Awards Hall of Fame. Good on you, Jill. Love you.
Hi, everybody. I am so nervous. I cannot tell you. For a person who usually has no problem speaking in front of an audience, very easily walks up on stage in front of 1,000 people at a convention and just takes questions, I have absolutely lost any type of eloquent words that I want to say, but I'm going to give it a try. This came in the mail for me. It is a Harvey Award. It is for the Hall of Fame. Never in a million years, as a little girl who just fell in love with the language of comics, did I ever expect I was going to get something as monumentous as this award. This is not for a single issue. This is not for a comic that I did. This is for my work as a creator, and that holds a lot of weight. That means the storytelling that I do touches you on a level that you feel is worthy of being in the Hall of Fame with people like Osamu Tezuka this year, and the creators of an entire line of comics, the gentleman from Milestone. That is heavy duty. That is jaw-droppingly hard to figure out how to express. But all I know is that the language of comics is what got me here, and the language of comics is what's going to keep coming out of me for you. Everyone around the world can understand and read comics. It doesn't matter what language you speak, because we all speak the language of comics. We speak the language of pictures that tell a story. And I am so glad that I have done a great job over the years of putting together art that makes you understand what the writer I'm working with or I'm trying to convey to you. If I've made you cry, if I've made you laugh, if I've made you think, if I've made you chortle with some black comedy or ironic stuff that I've done, if I've made you enjoy your time away from the real world over on the fright side with Scary Godmother, I am so very glad. I'm not going to stop making new worlds for you to visit. I'm going to do it until I can't see and I can't write anymore. And I happily will have the blessing of Harvey Kurtzman, which is a very big deal to try and live up to. So from me to all the other inductees, to the people who have been here before me, to everyone that's read my comics, I raise a glass to you. I say thank you. And we'll see each other at a convention, hopefully very soon. Thanks for letting me have a chance to wear my dress.
The next award of the evening is Best Adaptation from a Comic Book or Graphic Novel. And wow, do we have a diverse collection of brilliant work adapted into multiple media. So I'll start by saying congratulations to all the nominees, both the adaptations and the creators of the original work. And they are Black Sad, Under the Skin, video game by Microids, based on Black Sad by Dark Horse Comics. I Am Not Okay With This on Netflix, based on I Am Not Okay With This from Fantagraphics. Joker by Warner Brothers Pictures, based on characters from Batman from DC Comics. Legion Season 3 by FX Productions and Marvel Television, based on characters from the X-Men from Marvel Comics. Lock and Key Season 1 on Netflix, based on Lock and Key from IDW Publishing. The Old Guard by Netflix, based on The Old Guard by Image Comics. The Sandman audio drama on Audible, based on The Sandman from DC Comics Vertigo. Stumptown Season 1 on ABC, based on Stumptown from Oni Press. The Umbrella Academy Season 2 on Netflix, based on The Umbrella Academy from Dark Horse Comics. Watchmen on HBO, based on Watchmen from DC Comics. And the winner is Watchmen on HBO, based on Watchmen from DC Comics. And here to accept the award on behalf of the entire television team behind Watchmen is showrunner and executive producer Damon Lindelof. Take it away, Damon.
On behalf of the entire creative team behind Watchmen, we are blown away by this honor, not just because it's bestowed by a community I have been drawn to since I went to my first comics convention 4 decades ago, but because of its namesake. Harvey Kurtzman was a genius, he was a renegade, and it was his brutal satire, Super Duper Man, that actually taught a young Alan Moore that sometimes the best way to show you love something with all of your heart was to kick it in the teeth. I don't talk about Alan Moore enough, and that's because he made it clear he didn't want me to. But I'm here now because of him, not just because of his and the brilliant Dave Gibbons masterpiece, but because Alan Moore taught me the true meaning of adaptation. To adapt is to change, to honor the inspiration but challenge it, to embrace what made you fall in love with it, but then ask yourself every morning when you look at it in bed next to you, why are we together again? Most importantly, you have to have skin in the game and bring something new to the table. Swamp Thing and Miracle Man showed me how to retcon, and I brought what I learned to Watchmen. And if you don't know what retcon is, what in God's name are you doing watching me give a speech at the Harvey Awards? And while we're on the subject of retcon, I want to thank comics, and the comics writers who made me feel less lonely and filled my head with ideas. Gaiman and Morrison and Ellis and Ennis, both Millers with an E and an A, Claremont and Bendis and Busiek and Brubaker and Lemire and Vaughn. It has been pointed out that Darwin Cook's work was a big inspiration for ours on Watchmen, and I'm sorry that it had to be pointed out to be acknowledged, but man, is that the truth. And of course, Stan and Jack, reunited with the power cosmic, thank you for the gift of your imagination. It has spawned a Galactus of entertainment for which we are all eternally grateful. One last thing. You may have noticed that all the writers I just name-checked are white dudes, as am I. At the time I was growing up and reading comics, that's all there was. That's changing now, but it's not changing enough. We know that women and people of color are just as talented, that their stories are just as valuable. So what gives? I ask that we give. We give time and attention and resource to finding those storytellers and amplifying their voices in any way we can. We are in the midst of a long overdue awakening, and the very worst thing we could do is fall back asleep. Thank you again for this incredible award, and I hope, assuming the world doesn't end, to see all of you in person and unmasked. Until then, I shall remain, as always, your biggest fan.
The final induction into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame of this evening has a very special place in my heart. The founders of Milestone Media represented a group of Black artists, creators, and entrepreneurs who recognized that people of color were being underrepresented in our industry, and they set out to do something about it. As a creator of color, I am incredibly grateful that they did. I am deeply indebted to Milestone Media and its founders, and it's a great joy to begin their induction into the Hall of Fame tonight. I can literally say that I would not be hosting the Harvey Awards without their contributions to our industry. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. To say a few extra words about these founders, it's also my pleasure to bring out my dear friend, Calvin Reed, one of the warmest and most welcoming men in our industry, senior editor at Publishers Weekly, Calvin Reed.
Milestone Media represented change, a coalition of African-American creators who believed they were underrepresented in the comic book industry and did something about it. Dennis Cowan, the late Dwayne Mcduffie, Michael Davis, and Derek T. Dingle would blaze a new trail and launch an entirely new superhero universe, one with African-American characters and African-American creators at the forefront. Their imaginations birthed awareness, and their stories brought cultural perspective and accurate representation to the mainstream comic book industry. Though Milestone Media would cease publication of its comics universe in 1997, after only 4 years, its impact would live on. In 2000, Milestone Media would debut Static Shock, an animated series based on the Milestone comic series, Static. Static Shock would go on to win an Emmy Award and be broadcast all over the globe, introducing a whole new generation to Milestone's creations. As the entertainment industry of today puts a greater emphasis than ever on marginalized voices, Milestone Media and its creations were just that, a tremendous milestone. It is with great pleasure that we induct Dennis Cowan, Dwayne Mcduffie, Michael Davis, and Derek T. Dingle into the Harvey Award Hall of Fame Class of 2020. Congratulations to them all.
This is quite an honor. This is the Harvey Award, and it says Hall of Fame Dennis Cowan. I'm incredibly touched and honored to receive this. A little bit overwhelmed, actually, to get this. So I want to thank the Harvey Awards committee people, and I want to thank my fellow professionals, and really thank the people who started this with me at Milestone, Derek Dingle and Michael Davis, and in memory of our partner, Dwayne Mcduffie. Thank you guys for sticking with us and doing this and helping us in this journey. But really, I think what this award is really for is for the Milestone fans and for the people who supported us all these years, and you know, all those kids who grew up watching Static Shock, and all the people who read our comic books and who will read them in the future. This is for you. So thank you again. Thank you, committee, and thank you, Harvey Awards, for this Hall of Fame. Thanks a lot.
Dennis Cowan's idea to do a black comic company was not an original idea. It's an idea that every black kid who's ever read comics has had. Dennis' genius was there to get it done. But it couldn't have been done without Dwayne Mcduffie. There was nobody more Dwayne than Dwayne, or more Milestone than Dwayne. Or it couldn't have been done without Derek Dingle. Derek Dingle quit his job at Black Enterprise to come join Genesis Dream. Or Christopher Priest, which doesn't get nearly as much credit as he should. But he was right there. Or me. I was happened to be fighting crime at the time, but I decided, but hey, in a minute. The Harvey Award is certainly a pinnacle, a wonderful acknowledgement of who we were and what we were trying to do and how we did it. There's been some problems along the way, but you know what? For the most part, I wouldn't have changed anything. Well, I would have changed a few things. But I'm not going to talk about that now because that's not where we're at. This is where we're at. It's 2020, and as important as Milestone is, it's not nearly as important as what I'm about to say. We're living in a time where creators, African-American creators, are at risk. And that risk is that we're being marginalized, we're being dismissed. And when the President of the United States can say things like Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, but doesn't acknowledge the actual terrorists who are supporting him, that's a problem for me. I know this is not a political moment, but I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that. My sister Sharon, my mother Jean, my cousin Dee Dee, and my grandmother have all passed, and my stepfather Robert have all passed. Most of those who have passed have been murdered, and it's because of them I'm still here. They mattered, I mattered, you matter, Black Lives Matter. I accept this. I'm honored and I'm grateful. Thank you.
I am so thrilled that Milestone has been inducted into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame. This has been a milestone, if you will. I am glad that I am sharing this honor with the founders of Milestone, my good friend Dennis Cowan uh, the late Dwayne Mcduffie, who we miss deeply and appreciate his talent and skills. Michael Davis, who brought an energy to those meetings where we first developed Milestone, and Christopher Priest, who shown a brilliance in terms of creating comic book worlds. We all came together on a mission to diversify the comic book industry with our characters, with our stories, and by bringing in new talent. And I will be remiss if I did not acknowledge DC Comics for giving us the platform to share these stories. So I would like to thank, the Harvey Awards Committee, Lynn Publishing, and Reed Prop for acknowledging us some 30 years after we started Milestone. And Milestone is a company that stands on the shoulders of great talent and great innovators and great pioneers. One of them being Bertram Fitzgerald, the founder of Golden Legacy Comic Books, that introduced me to comic books and the power of the medium. Through Golden Legacy, I learned about Black history and also about possibilities and heroes. So I would like to dedicate my award to Bertram Fitzgerald, as well as those future creators that are coming into the industry and going to carve new pathways to achievement and to storytelling. Thank you so much. This is a great honor.
The final core member of Milestone Media was the late, great Dwayne Mcduffie. Dwayne tragically passed away in 2011, so it is with great humility, honor, and pride that I do what I get to do next, and induct Dwayne into the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame alongside his Milestone Media brothers and founders. It is with equal honor that I get to read to you, Dwayne, tonight, some words from your wife, Charlotte Mcduffie. Congratulations, Dwayne, and here's what Charlotte had to say. Thank you to the Harvey Awards. I humbly accept this great honor on behalf of my late husband, Dwayne Mcduffie. I only wish he were here to accept it himself. Dwayne never set out to win awards with his work, but he certainly liked it when it happened. He was always frustrated, though, thinking people were not listening to him and that no one was getting that he was trying to say something seriously important with his work, not just tell a few good superhero stories. Dwayne once said, "The closest I ever got to winning an industry award for milestone work was when I lost 3 Eisners in less than 15 minutes in 1995. Though to be fair, when you lose to Alan Moore for Best Writer, you know you're in excellent company." Congratulations to Dwayne and the other founding members of Milestone. You all have earned your place in comic book and American history. The last and final Harvey Award for the evening is the prestigious Harvey Award for Book of the Year. And the nominees are... I don't get to do this one. But instead, I've got a special treat for you. I'm going to bring out last year's Harvey Award winner for Book of the Year, my friend, Jared Krazoska. Jared Krazoska won the Harvey Award for Book of the Year in 2019 for his brilliant graphic memoir, Hey Kiddo. In Hey Kiddo, Jared bared his soul, honesty, and truth in every single line drawing and every word, and pushed the medium of graphic memoir forward. It's a brilliant piece of work and very deserving of the 2019 Harvey Award for Book of the Year. It's unfortunately a little too mature for my kids, so luckily, Jared has been entertaining them and legions of other kids with his other work. He's the creator of the brilliant Lunch Lady comic series and has done extensive work on Star Wars Jedi Academy. He's been entertaining the Tawari family for years. So it is my great pleasure to introduce to you tonight the 2019 Harvey Award winner for Book of the Year, my friend, Jared Krazoska.
Hi, I'm Jared Krazoska. I was honored last year to be the recipient for Book of the Year at the 2019 Harvey Awards. And I am so enthusiastic and excited to be here to present Book of the Year for 2020. Because if there was ever a year in which we needed words and pictures and panels and word balloons to help us get away, it's 2020. The nominees for Book of the Year are Are You Listening by Tilly Walden, published by First Second. Dragon Hoops by Jean Luen Yang, published by First Second. Grass by Kyum Suk Chendri Kim, published by Drawn and Quarterly. The Hard Tomorrow by Eleanor Davis, published by Drawn and Quarterly. Invisible Kingdom Volume 1 by G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward, Dark Horse Burger Books. Little Bird, The Flight for Elder's Hope by Darcy Van Polgeest and Ian Burtman, Image Comics. Making Comics by Linda Berry, published by Drawn and Quarterly. Reincarnation Story by Kim Deitch, published by Fantagraphic Books. Rusty Brown by Chris Ware, published by Pantheon Graphics Library. And Something is Killing the Children, Volume 1 by James Tinian IV and Werther Del Eadra, published by Boom Studios. And the winner for the Harvey Awards Book of the Year is, get the trusty little official envelope here. Dragon Hoops by Jean Luen Yang.
Hey everyone, I have to tell you, I am beyond thrilled to be receiving this award. It was an honor just to be nominated, just to be listed alongside all of those amazing cartoonists who I admire so much. There are lots of people to thank. I want to start by thanking God for the blessings and the trials. I also want to thank everyone involved in the Harvey Awards, the coordinators, the nominating committee, all the professionals who voted. Thank you to Coach Lou Ritchie and all of the coaches and players who were involved in the 2014-2015 Bishop O'Dowd Dragons basketball team. Thanks for letting a nerdy cartoonist tag along with you for the entire season. Thank you for being so welcoming. Thank you for sharing your stories with me. I have to tell you, I'm never going to forget the courage that you all showed on the court that year. That time that I spent with you really was life-changing. I want to thank my good friend Lark Pien, who colored the book. I know that this project was way more complicated than either of us had imagined when we first signed up to do it. Thank you so much for saying yes. I want to thank my art assistants, Rianne Myers and Colby Yang. There's no way I would have made that last deadline without you. Thank you to Kurt Benshoff, who designed an amazing cover for the book that even feels like a basketball. Thanks to my agent, Judy Hansen, for all of your wisdom throughout the years. And thank you to my wife, Teresa, and my kids. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your love. Thank you for agreeing to be a part of Dragon Hoops, for letting me put you in those pages. Last but not least, I want to thank First Second Books. You all have created something really special. You created a home for cartoonists and for our stories. I am so thrilled. I am beyond thrilled to be a part of you. I want to say a special thank you to my editor, Mark Siegel. Without you, there's no way I would have been able to complete Dragon Hoops. Thank you for your partnership and thank you for your friendship. I could not have asked for a better partner in this this comics endeavor. And finally, thank you to everyone who is here tonight. Being a part of the American comic book community is one of the biggest joys of my life. I am so grateful for all of you, and even though we can't gather together in person, I'm thankful to be able to share this time with you virtually. Thank you.
In closing the 2020 Harvey Awards, I would like to start with a heartfelt thanks to the Harvey Awards coordinators, the Harvey Awards steering committee, and our very generous sponsors, 1021 Creative and Harper Alley. We literally would not be here without you. And on behalf of the entire comics industry, we are so glad we are here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also want to shout out a special congratulations to all the nominees and the winners of the 2020 Harvey Awards. You've created work that has entertained and inspired us, and you've done so by speaking your truth. And this is a year in particular where we've needed entertainment, inspiration, and truth. I personally believe that those three things lead to hope in a world that desperately needs hope. So I thank you for that. I would like to close by reading a quote from our awards namesake, Harvey Kurtzman, who once said, "If I have any consistent morality in my work, it has been my concern with truth. As I see it, truth is beautiful. What is false offends." It is my deep hope that all of you watching the Harvey Awards tonight, wherever you may be, in quarantine or elsewhere, I hope that you will be inspired by all our winners and all the great work that the comic industry is doing. And I hope you will go out and speak your truth. As Harvey Kurtzman said, truth is beautiful. What is false offends. I'll see you all next year. Congratulations to the winners and have a great evening.